Welcome to AI and Multimedia Magicians. My name is Abhijit. In our club, we try to explore the benefits of AI as well as multimedia to not only enhance our presentation but also to gain knowledge. Today, we have two special speeches, one by Jay Mojnidar and another by Sanya. We'll start with our first speech by Jay Moshnidar. And in this club, we give round robin feedback as soon as the speech is done. When we ask you to give feedback, try to not repeat what other person has said and try to at least talk about one to two things the speaker did effectively and one to two things the speaker could do to make their speech more effective. Our timer for today is going to be Elizabeth. Elizabeth, would you like to explain your role as the timer?
Yes, sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Elizabeth. I'm going to be the timer for today's speakers. So during the timing, the first speaker is going to be speaking between 5 and 7 minutes. So I'll be using the time card to actually create a kind of alerts. So when you're seeing green, probably you have like 5 minutes left. Then when you see yellow, maybe 3 minutes left. Then maybe when you see red, that means your time will be up by then. So for the second speaker will be speaking for between 18 to 22 minutes. So when we have 10 minutes left, I'm going to show the green time cards. When we have 5 minutes left, I will show you the yellow cards. And when the time is off, you're going to see the red card, which signify that the time is up. So we can start.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Welcome, Suparnas. Welcome, Ruchika. Wonderful to have you guys.
Thank you.
Let's get the party started. Let me call upon our first speaker, Jay Moshnidar, who is speaking from the Visionary Communication Pathway. This is his level 3 project 2 research and presenting. The purpose of this project is for Jay to learn or review basic research methods and present a well organized and well researched speech on any topic. Jay Moshnidar, AI at the wheel, navigating legal roads. AI at the wheel, navigating legal roads. Jay Mojnidar.
Who is at fault? Let's begin with the question. Who is at fault when an automated driving system, aka ADS, aka self-driving cars, meet with an accident? I did some research on this interesting topic, and today I'm going to present to you the struggles that the legal and regulatory bodies are grappling with. Looking at the picture, it's very clear that the pedestrian has the right of way. He is not at fault. But within the car, who exactly is at fault? Is it the driver inside the car at fault? Or is it the hardware that hosts the ADS is at fault? Or is it the software that runs the system is at fault? Or is it the sensor that feeds the system is at fault? Or is it the trainer or the road conditions? There are way too many factors at play here. To solve this complex problem, regulatory bodies all around the globe turn towards a framework that was proposed by SAE, Society of Automation Engineers, some 10 years back. According to this framework, they categorized all the vehicles into 6 different levels based on the capabilities of the system they have. Only level 3 and above are considered as ADS, that is automated driving system. Level 3 cars are those that can self-drive only in certain conditions. So human is in control of the car. For level 4 are those cars that can self-drive in all situations, in all conditions, but only in a designated location. These are very good for robotaxis like Waymo. While the vehicle is being driven in those designated locations, the system is in control. Level 5 cars are those that can self-drive in all situations, in all conditions, in all locations. This is the holy grail. These are the cars that you can trust your kid's life with. And these cars do not exist yet. While this framework helps us in figuring out who has the control of the vehicle, it cannot guarantee the quality or the safety of the ADS. That's what EU AI Act tried to do with their uh, pyramid of criticality framework. According to this, all AI systems are categorized into based on the risk that they pose, from minimal risk to unacceptable risk. Self-driving cars are ranked as high-risk cars, high-risk AI system. So all high-risk AI system has to undergo strict scrutiny and face severe damages or severe penalties in case of breaches. Naturally, the vendors wants to demonstrate the mitigation efforts that they are taking and try to get a labeling of limited risk. That opens up a brand new can of worms. Moreover, EU AI Act is not coming into effect for another couple of years for self-driving cars, and many are skeptical about its effectiveness even when it takes effect. So in summary, levels of automation framework helped in figuring out who has the control, but has the downside of the safety and quality of the ADS system. But EU AI Act tried to solve that, but because of their fuzzy requirements and because of the probabilistic nature of the AI systems, they are finding it very hard to prove any breaches. So there are enforceability issues. So what else can we do? So legal industry is coming up with extending tort law for AI systems. Tort law is an existing legal framework that, in case of harm, helps in analyzing the causation and assigning the fault. There are two main kinds of torts that are applicable here. Negligence tort is when a harm is caused to somebody due to negligence of someone else. These are very common in case of traffic accidents. In order for this to be applicable to AI systems, they have to be considered as service. The downside of this is that the burden of proof falls upon the victim, that is you and I, to prove that ADS is negligent. You and I, we know how hard it is to prove that. The second tort is strict liability tort. For this to be applied, AI systems have to be considered as a product. In this case, for any harm that is done, the product seller has to own the damages. But the problem is that this deters innovation and the price of the product shoots up. So this is not good either. So to solve this novel problem, legal industry is proposing a new version of limit tort. It's called limited liability tort. According to this, they want to extend the tort law that would grant legal personhood for AI systems. That means the AI systems inside the car would be considered as a person, and they have limited liability responsibility when an accident happens. This is leading to new topics, new issues, new debate about things like AI rights. In conclusion, automated driving systems, aka self-driving cars, are here to stay. And they are probably the most impactful AI innovation in our lifetime. And they are posing tough challenges to regulators and legal industry. Learning to co-live with them may define how we can co-live with other AI systems. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Jay, for informing us about the legal issues we are going to face with the AI systems. We will now go into round robin feedback. Let me call upon Sanya to give feedback to Jay. Sanya?
Hello, thank you, Jay, for the presentation on this relevant topic. It is indeed very important to know who is responsible, as AI autonomous systems are not, are not living creatures, so cannot be claimed as liable if some accident happened. And it is indeed necessary to regulate. So you gave a great presentation about this, and especially I like the clean style of your slides that presented the crucial information you were talking about. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sanya. Nick?
Yeah, thank you, Jay. It was really interesting. And yeah, the one thing, it would be interesting to hear about Uber incident. Who was, do you know when the Uber hit the person, the Uber car, to death? And it would be interesting to hear
Uber
the
is
judgments.
not self-driven car.
No, they had been testing the self-driven cars, and it was
I
a
see.
fatal incident. If you could relate to this real, that's why Uber shut down the self-driving car problem, and it also would be interesting to hear the court judgment, because court took a decision who was responsible for this incident. Yeah, otherwise it's great. You use like variety of voice, and yeah, you made it very interesting.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you. I will check on that.
Great feedback, Nick. Elizabeth?
Yeah, thank you, Jay, for that amazing presentation. For me, I love the way you started the presentation by using an illustration of a traffic and a pedestrian as well. Overall, it was an excellent one for me.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Elizabeth. Jenny?
Oh, I like the presentation very much too. I like at the beginning you start with a real story to make people think. You ask question, and I think only one thing I can think of to improve if you might want is the slide has too many wording. It can be a little bit concise. Looking forward to your next speech. Very good. Thank you.
You, Jenny?
Thank you.
Raghu? Any feedback from you? Todd?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead,
Hey,
Raghu.
Abhijit. Yes. First of all, it was an excellent presentation, excellent topic from Sanjay. I think I'll give you a live example. Just yesterday, I was trying to ask one of my friends, should I go for Tesla or should I go for a gas car? So that boy says that, hey, you know what? Every weekend I have a party where I drink a lot, and it is this Tesla which brings home without any problem. That was what triggered my, hey man, what is this happening now? Something happens. Will this boy be responsible, or Tesla or the AI? So where are we heading now? This is a topic which inculcates and gives a thought process. What would happen next? Thank you very much for a wonderful presentation, my friend.
Thank you, Raghu. But in this case, if it meets with an accident, it's the boy who is responsible.
Right? Yeah. And he very confidently said, please buy this car. I spent $60,000. I have parties every weekend, and this car brings me back home. I just said,
Please talk to
oh,
the lawyer before buying that.
Thank you,
thank
Jay.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
Todd? Thank you.
So I was gonna say, I like the way the slides are embedded and you are small inside the slide. As the other lady said, I felt it had a little bit too much information, and I thought a way that you might work around that is like the 30,000 foot view, breaking it down into like step by step, and then show like a level 1 photo and an example of a level 1, and then a level 2, and showing us a level 2, and then like a level 3, and that way you could take the complex view we see all together and then blow it up or blow something into it that would make it relevant and easier to digest, like a step-by-step kind of thing. I thought that might be a way to help people absorb the material, because there was a lot of material and it is relatively new to everybody's, or I should say I'm making a judgment, to my knowledge base. So, you know, if I'm not understanding, I'm wondering if it could possibly go over the heads of other people who are listening to it for the first time. But again, showed a lot of research, showed a lot of familiarity with the subject, and we were able to articulate it well. Congratulations.
Thank you, Todd.
Thank you so much, Todd. We'll now move on to our next speaker. But before we move on to our next speaker, I want to talk about the vision, the camera vision, which is changing, which is being aided by AI. When you look at autonomous cars or when you look at robotics, both these technologies are dependent upon the camera vision. And today we are going to learn more about that camera vision, how it is assisted by AI. So let's start with the second speaker, who is going to be Sanya. Sanya is a professor at San Jose State University. This is her level 3 from Pathway Visionary Communication, Project 2 Research and Presenting Large Language Models for Vision. Large Language Models for Vision, Sanya.
Just a sec. Uh-huh. Okay. Can everyone see my slides? Hopefully. Great. Okay, let's begin. Welcome, everyone, to a presentation about large language models for vision. And before we begin, let's take a look at several concepts that are very important for this presentation. So on the slide, you see 7 concepts. First one being, I will read the concepts, and please count how many concepts are you familiar with. And you will later write the number in the chat. So we have concepts or buzzwords: foundational model, zero-shot learning, one-shot learning, few-shot learning, multimodal model, model distillation, and downstream task. So these are all very important concepts to know in order to follow this presentation. Could you please enter the number in the chat? How many concepts are you familiar with? So let's see. We have one answer. It says 5. Thank you. 0, 4, 1, 1. Okay, so it's in each presentation and lecture, it's very important to establish the baseline of the audience so that the presentation is well received. And so my intuition was good, I think. And so I will explain all of these concepts that you probably hear very often in or read about when you hear the latest news on the latest development in LLMs. So first, foundational models are almost all models you use, AI models you use nowadays. It means that they are trained on a huge amount of data, or almost like the whole internet. So it probably means YouTube, so publicly available data. And this model, foundational model, has a lot of knowledge, and that's why they can generalize so good. And that capability of generalization and the way the models are trained, where that semantic connection between the concepts is used, so as criteria, they're very good at zero-shot learning. What it means, zero-shot learning? It means that they can answer a question or solve a task that they were not trained specifically on. So it means without any instruction or fine-tuning, any special training, it will, let's say, answer a question that you ask. So without any further input or prompt, just given question, it gives correct answer. So that's zero-shot learning. Then we have one-shot learning, where you, besides that prompt, or that is actually question, you give one example. For instance, if you wish translation from one language to another, you could, in one shot, give one sentence, one example of translation from one language to another, and then ask for translation of a new sentence. And so on. Few-shot learning means you will provide several examples and then ask a question that, and the rule for answering that question can be derived from the previous examples. Then we have multimodal models. Those are all large models that include multiple modalities. So it means, for instance, one modality is text or language, written language, but the other modality is vision, or images, video, or modality could be also audio. So multimodal model means it mixes text with images, videos, or maybe even with audio. Then model distillation is maybe that this term you can hear less often. However, this is, I included this because it's very important trend that actually in practice, we don't need a large language model that is trained on, that is foundational, but we want to use these models for specific tasks. And it's more important to have less, to have it cheaper, so meaning less, a smaller model. And that is achieved in this distillation process. And last model, I hope you're still there, is downstream task. And that is when we pre-trained the model specifically for that task. So it's a lot of new information. Let's move to next slide. Yeah, now you know all the concepts. Let's see what large language models and combined with vision, so which tasks do they address? And here is example. If we have in the middle one image that has, we see two cats, that one cat is on the top part of the image, the other cat is on the lower part of the image. And we can ask large vision language model. So vision language model is multimodal model, meaning we have two modalities, vision and language, and they are aligned. So it means we can ask question using modality, language, and then system will analyze the image and answer, let's say, in text. So what types of tasks do these vision language models solve? And those are object localization. The example of this task is question: is one cat behind another? Then it's zero-shot segmentation, meaning just provided one image, we can segment the exact position of cats. As you can see that the segmentation is given this on the right side, where we have the masks, red and green masks over the cats. Then we have zero-shot visual question answering. It means we will ask the question and the answer will be given based on the image. For instance, what is the breed of these cats? And the answer is the cats in the image appear to be domestic short-haired cats. Also, another example is one-shot learning with instructions. And the example is striped cats are called tabby cats. What is the breed of the cats in the image? And then vision language model analyzes the image and provides the textual answer. So large language models for vision are multimodal image. They combine information from images in text to generate answer. And so those are generative models. And use cases, as we saw, are chatting about images, image recognition via structures, visual question answering, document understanding, or image captioning. Actually, terminology about names of large language models for vision is not unique. So you might find different expressions for the same concept in the literature. So, and also different acronyms, such as VLM, that stands for Vision Language Models, MLLM, Multimodal Large Language Models, LMM, Large Multimodal Models, LVM, Large Vision Models, LVLM, Large Scale Vision Language Models, and even VLP, Vision Language Pre-Training. As you can see, if you combine different letters, you will most probably get a new acronym for the vision model. But let's say the simplest one is this vision language models. It is understood that it's combination of two modalities, vision and text and language. And the next in hierarchy is multimodal large language models, as they include also different modalities such as audio. So what is the typical vision language model architecture? So the important concept, the important part of these systems is the component which merges and aligns the image and text representation of the same information. So meaning that we need, in the pre-training, we need to input to the system images, then they will be encoded via image encoder. And we will input, let's say, captions for those images. And we need to pre-train the whole system that combines both encoded images and encoded text, and to align them so that later we can get good inference. And that alignment is done in this by this, the crucial role plays this multimodal projector. And for instance, that's the question. On the left side, you see the architecture for pre-training for the captions of the images. And on the right side, you see the parts of the network that is fine-tuned for answering. So the red, and in the process, you will train selected parts of the system. Also important part of aligning information is this technique of in machine learning, so-called contrastive learning. It is a new concept introduced by OpenAI in 2021 that actually improved training of this alignment of the visual information and text. And where in the process of calculating cost of matching, in the process of training, not only that that cost function was calculated based on whether the classes of the images are the same, but also if they differ. And this provided that semantic component in these large models. As in this way, that encoded representations, no matter whether they are achieved and derived from image or from text, they are actually very close in that n-dimensional space of the encoded representation. So this was a very important concept. And this is the example of vision language model architecture, and that uses that CLIP, contrastive language image pre-training from OpenAI. So you see that this model consists of 3 steps. First is contrastive pre-training, where we have that merging and aligning of the textual information from that comes from text encoder and information that comes from images through image encoder, and then we are calculating how similar they are, because they are, so as we map them into same type of space, and those are simply vectors of numbers, by calculating this vector actually scalar products, we get simply coefficients that if it's a larger number, it means there is greater alignment. They are smaller, that's less alignment between encoded text and encoded image. Next step is creating dataset classifiers from labeled text. And in the end, so this is the, so on the left, we see pre-training, and on the right, we see actually inference example where we create dataset classifier from labeled text. And then we use zero-shot prediction to calculate caption. So all this wouldn't be possible actually if there were not for 2 very important seminal papers. And you probably heard about them multiple times in different previous presentations. So one is the seminal paper that introduced transformer architecture, titled "Attention is All You Need." And the other is that introduced transformer architecture for vision. And the title of this paper is "An image is worth 16 times 16 words, transformers for image recognition at scale." So my question for you is, do you maybe know which in which year are these papers published?
The first one was published in 2017. I don't know the second one.
Okay.
2021, second one?
Yeah. So these are all very recent papers. So it's in this field, it's really like exciting to always be up to date and catch up, because 3 months feels like 10 years, 10 years in development. So I think we live in really transformative time. This is equal as the age when internet was invented. So let's look at what top large language models with vision capabilities are. So nowadays, there are also specialized large language model with vision, and also the multimodal models have strong vision capabilities. So first, PolyGamma, that was released by Google in 2024, so it's recent, is open source, a vision large language model. And it has multimodal capabilities. So it is good for tasks of fine-tuning on single tasks, image questioning and answering, and captioning, video question answering and captioning, and segmentation. And it's open source. Then we have ChatGPT-4 with vision that was released by OpenAI in 2023. And it can, tasks it can do is object detection, image captioning, and visual question answering. And it was released by around the second half of 2023. So if you read those capabilities, so it sounds pretty impressive. However, GPT-4o that was released in 2024 is even better, as it can have multimodal input. What does it mean? You can integrate visual information text. So you can ask question where you will, part of the question, type in as a text, and then you will, as extra, you will provide the additional information by uploading the image. It also can solve, let's say, math problem. If you show it on your phone or on the paper equations, it is able to solve, to help you with the math task. It can develop a web page based on a sketch, how you want a web page to look like. So it integrates different modalities, so both text and vision. And imagine, so as it can label data, so it means that nowadays it's possible to have that automatic labeling of the data sets that improves, again, applications of the vision. There's also Llama 1.5 multimodal language model that was released 2023. And this is developed by a person and available on GitHub. And it has also great capabilities on different vision tasks, as mentioned. So, and let's now take a look at specific architecture of PolyGamma. It's a single turn vision language model that is not meant for conversational use, but it works best when fine-tuned to a specific use case. This is its architecture. It combines the latest, most advanced decoder-only model for text generation, Gemma 2B, and it uses SIGLIP model that can understand both images and text. And as you can see here, this Gemma has 2 billion parameters. It's considered a small large language, small model. And each of these vision language models usually comes in several variants, so to say, several model releases, and they differ by, let's say, the number of parameters, specific tasks they are trained on, and also what size of the image they require as input. This is example. You can also try it by yourself. This is a screenshot from Hugging Face. That is a hub that provides all open source pre-trained models. And if you check Gemma, this is a screen that you get for image captioning. Let's say you upload this image, you select as a prompt caption. So here prompt is the type of vision task you wish to be performed. You select model. So this is polygamma, 3 billion parameters mixed, so it's release, and this is the size of the image. And you select decoding. And you see on the bottom, on the right side, that it says, in this image, we can see birds on the wall. In the background, we can see a building with windows and plants in the pots. Similarly, we have visual question answering example. So we as a prompt, we selected the vision task we want and model and decoding, and then it gives us answer. And also on the bottom right is example of detection. So here you see that we get as answer bounding box. And so there are a lot of different also vision language models. So, and imagine you wish to use for your own application. How should one select the specific model to use? Well, it's the way that vision language models are evaluated is based on leaderboards and benchmarks. And here are two examples of two leaderboards. So those are Vision Arena and Open VLM. And here the idea with these leaderboards is that they are based on anonymous voting of model outputs, updated continuously. So actually people are shown two results of two anonymous vision language model, and they pick their preferred output. And so these leaderboards are constructed solely on human preferences. Another type is benchmark. It's benchmark is predefined set of questions and tasks. So we have this massive multidiscipline, multi-model understanding and reasoning benchmark or expert AGI that consists of 11,500 multimodal challenges that require college-level subject knowledge and reasoning across different disciplines. And we have the other one, Bench, that consists of 3,000 single-choice questions over 20 different skills. And this is example how one that compares open source visual language models. So here we have the name of the model, and this is also a link to the model, to coefficients. So you can use them in your own applications in Google Colab. You have information about license, model size, image resolution it requires as input, and its additional capabilities in the tabular overview. So you might ask yourself, so what is awaiting for us in the future? So what is future development? I have to inform you that future has already happened. So the future is that even greater integration of different modalities. And this is a new model, Chameleon, that has been released in May 2024 by Meta, researchers at Meta. This model is that is a mixed model, early fusion foundation model. What means mixed model? So it's not that the system is trained on separately vision, audio, and text, but it's trained simultaneously on, let's say, video. And video is multimodal, so it contains both video information and audio. And this is combined and directly fed into the training. And yeah, so we are in front of the exciting new applications of these mixed model early fusion foundation models.
That is very exciting because the future, I think Meta has come up with their model, and now we will see OpenAI, maybe Google come up with their future models, which is mixing all the different modalities. And I feel multimodal is the way to go. And as you have seen, the first model is already launched on 16th of May. Thank you so much, Sanya, for sharing that wealth of information. We will now go into feedback section. We'll now call upon Jay. Jay, we want to get us started.
Sure. Thank you, Sanja. Thank you, Sanya, for such a wonderful, enlightening session. I would say you started out very well with introducing the 7 concept slides. That slide with all the 7 concepts, that was very nice. That gave an overview of what we are going to see. And actually, it made me a little bit nervous also that, okay, this is way too deep for me. And so, and also you'll check the baseline, check the way you check the baseline. That was very nice. I really like that. You had very deep wealth of information you had in your speech. I really like a lot of it, but I think it needs a longer session for me to digest all of that. I would love to have another session with you speaking about each one of them separately in any place. That would be great. I would be very much interested. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jay. Nick?
Yeah, thank you, Sanya. I think it was great. Yeah, the one issue that I got lost when you started to talk about all these models, I think it's overloaded me. And I started to forget.
Nick, your audio is not very clear.
First model, when you reach the end, and like the whole different session.
I could not hear.
Yes. Nick, your audio.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
That's why.
You want to say again, Nick?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes. It always switches default. Yeah, I think it was great. The first slide was a bit overload, especially with all models when you start to describe them. It's very difficult. At least for me, it was difficult to remember all of them. Definitely, it was maybe separate presentation to go through all these models. Another issue, I noticed that the font was very small. Was difficult to read. And yeah, if any chance you could do like real life demonstration, that would be great. And I'm definitely looking for your next presentation.
Definitely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Nick. Kiran, you want to come on camera?
Sorry, I'm in a position where I can't turn on camera, but can you hear my audio?
Yes,
okay?
I can hear.
All right. Yeah. Thank you so much. This is a new topic and I learned a lot. And because of your passion, I'm really excited to learn more about it. I can see through how much you know about it and how you try to simplify for us. It's very difficult when you know so much and to condense everything. So thank you for doing that. One suggestion I have is the examples, maybe you can take something related to medical field. Like you can look at 4 different x-rays and probably you can come up with some diagnosis instead of pets. That might make it more exciting for the audience. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Kiran. Suparna.
Am I audible?
Yes.
So the presentation was quite long, but it was very still engaging. Slides were concise. Yeah, some were a little bit more verbose, but still okay. Considering the complexity of the content, it was okay. Delivery was so good. It was so good. I felt the goal was to make such a complex topic simple for us and for a layman to understand and to grasp in such a short time, which was a big achievement, very big achievement. Last thing for the improvement, I would say some more interesting examples, like the previous person said, or live demo or some live demo example would have made it a lot more interesting. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Suparna. Vamshi?
Thank you, Abhijit, for giving the opportunity. Just I really enjoyed the session. Even initially, you just categorize the different model. Even few of the models I know, but it's a informative session and the informative presentation. But on that model, if you are giving an example end to end, I mean the zero shot, and if you are including one shot and multi shot, the models into one example, if you're giving end-to-end models, then probably it will go into your speech next level. Yeah, thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Vamshi. Jenny?
Thank you very much, Sonia, for the presentation. I learned a lot. I really like the part you engage with the audience, ask for feedback, how many people know about the model, how many model each person knows about. Yeah, and then you went briefly explain what the model is. It really help us to follow your presentation because this is a very technical presentation. And I think it's really hard to fit in so much information in such a short presentation. My suggestion would be give an introduction and only focus on one topic or one model, and then break them out to a few presentation. Then will be more detailed, more in depth for people to understand. Yeah, thank you very much. Really like it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jenny. Raghu?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sanya. Wonderful presentation. I think a lot of time and energy the presentation would have taken. I'm not it was looking as if I was attending an MS in AI class. So it was a little, at a higher end. But I did see that, if there were cats, how many number of cats, the stripes on the cats, how the AI recognizes them. Maybe a little simpler version would have, because most of we guys are not into AI and AI-enabled services. But as a whole, the content and the presentation and the conference level involving us was super. Thank you. Thank you, Sanya.
Thank you so much, Raghu. Todd?
So my question would be, what is the audience that you're giving this to? Like, if this is a lecture for class, or is this a symposium that you've been invited to present at, to just understand the level of who would be in the room and be able to understand all of the material. So that being said, if you were using us as a test to work out some kinks for a new class, or for a presentation that you're going to give at a workshop or a symposium, I think those in attendance would understand what everything that you talked about was going on. The one thing that might be something you might want to think about in the future is, I know you're a professor. Professors have a certain style of their lecture and deliver kind of standing, or they're talking. But if you can provide a little bit of your personality, perhaps a little bit more humor, your energy, your life force, I think that you would be able to hold the attention of the audience more than if you were reading them a thesis. So just something to look at: excitement, energy, life force, and even things that are complex sometimes need to be relatable. So I like the idea of the cats and the AI. So that was an interesting way of plugging that. Keep up the good work. Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Shruti?
Sana, I loved your presentation. This was a very deep dive into all the models of AI. I knew none of it, by the way. And so within 20 to half an hour, I came to know all of it. So it was quite amazing. And your knowledge is really deep. And but then again, that said, not knowing anything and then getting into this was a bit, uh, too deep for me. Maybe if I could get some examples of how they differ and how I could use it in my everyday life would make it more interesting to me. Thank you again, Sanya, for this knowledge
Thank you.
sharing. Thank you.
Thank you, Shruti. Elizabeth?
Well, Sonia, I think you actually gave it all the best for this presentation. It was amazing. But for me, based on the level of my understanding about AI, I think I have zero knowledge about all those modules. So it was kind of too advanced for me. So just like Jenny mentioned earlier, probably maybe you have to divide the whole topic into subtopic so that we will have time to digest what you've talked about. Aside from that, it was an amazing one.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
Nick? Now you have a hand raised, that's fine.
No.
That brings us to the end of the meeting. But before we end, we want to get some guest feedback. Shruti, how was your experience today?
My experience was good. I'm trying to learn more of AI and how I'm from the pharma industry and how to integrate it into what I do. I'm not from IT, but then again, it was really interesting for me to learn all of these. Legalities, regulations are a big part, and was good to know of this. It was an eye opener. And then, of course, all the models of AI. It's mind-blowing. And thank you for this session.
Thank you so much, Shruti. Raghu, how was your experience, Raghu? Jenny, how was your experience, Jenny?
I love this club. And like your meeting is short and precise. You start right on the minute, no delay, and then you finish on the minute. Yeah, and I like to learn from this club too. So many professionals and AI nowadays get to every part of our life. So yeah, I might consider joining your club.
Thank you, Jenny. Thank you so much, everyone. Next week, we have something special going on. We have Nick who is going to speak. Nick, you know the topic we are going to talk about?
Yes, I'm going to tell why we should fear AI singularity and what is AI singularity.
Perfect. We'll learn about AI singularity. I have no clue about it. So thank you, Nick. And we have another presentation by Rishikesh, who is the CMO, a chief marketing officer for a startup. He's going to talk about his startup, which is Sprouts AI. What do? They are on the other side of the spectrum for job hiring. So we'll learn more about these two things. Thank you so much, everyone, and see you again next week, same time, 6 p.m. Pacific.
We didn't give them feedback about the minutes spent.
Oh, yes, please, Elizabeth.
Yes, so for Sonia, for Jay, he was supposed to spend 7 minutes, but he spent 7 minutes and 48 seconds. For Sonia was meant to spend 22 minutes, but she ended up spending 26 minutes and 35 seconds.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Thank you, everyone. See you again next week, same time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.